Hi friends of cocktails! Today we're going to be juicing limes, lemons and oranges. Actually, just one lime, one lemon and one orange. I'll show you how to get more juice from your citrus fruit. It will taste better and save your money, because there is less waste and the juice lasts a lot longer. The main problems of citrus fruits we'll tackle today are: 1. By simply squeezing out your juice, you're not utilizing a ton of flavors that are embedded in the peels as essential oils, wasting a lot of the fruit. And 2. The juice will oxidize fast, and it will affect its flavor. Enter Nickle Morris, a bartender and owner of Expo Cocktail Bar in Louisville, Kentucky, who created this technique I'll show you today, with the goal of mitigating waste in cocktail bars. And with the whole foundation of the modern cocktail renaissance, being the use of fresh ingredients, particularly citrus juice, saying something mixed together is superior to freshly squeezed, can ruffle some feathers. But how good is it really? Let's find out. It's cocktail time. I love a classic daiquiri, but I spent one whole lime for just one drink. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to make at least 7? And if it tastes even better, I think that would be useful for anyone. Home cocktail enthusiasts, hosting friends and making cocktails. But it can be really invaluable for a cocktail bar. This technique can be used for pre-batch cocktails and cocktails on tap. And since I know there are a lot of bartenders in the cocktail time community, I was thrilled to try out the Oleo Citrate and Super Juice technique after reading the punch.com article and seeing a video by Portland Cocktail Week. I'll leave a link to both in the description. For the record, I'll be using acid ratios based on Dave Arnold's liquid intelligence, which are slightly different from what Morris uses and will yield even more juice. I've actually used a version of this technique for the lime and mint cordial when making the cocktail time mojito last summer, but there we added sugar and mint. Today we'll make lime, lemon and orange super juices that you'll be able to use in your favorite sour cocktails. The technique isn't hard and you don't need any fancy equipment: a peeler, knife, kitchen scale, blender and something to squeeze out the juice. As for ingredients, you only need the citrus fruit of choice, citric and malic acids and water. And that's it. There are other acids present in citrus fruits as well, mainly ascorbic and succinic. Ascorbic is plain old vitamin C, and the super juice works without it perfectly fine. As for succinic, it's what makes citrus juice oxidize, so that's the main thing you want to stay away from. Citric acid is easy to find in any store, but for malic acid, which we'll use for lime and orange juice, you might need to check out a specialty store or look online. I'll leave a link in the description, just in case. Now, let's start with the first step of making super juice: peeling the citrus. It's the peels and the essential oils in them that will give that extra flavor, which makes this much more than just water and some acids. Peel any way you're comfortable with. Y peeler, straight peeler. You could grate the peel as well, but it just takes a lot longer. Then I weigh the peels and add the acids based on that. That's the first part where my technique differs from Nickle Morris's. I add acids based on the total weight of the peels, with a formula from Dave Arnold. For limes, I add equal weight of acids in a 2:1 ratio of citric and malic acids. For the 13.57 grams of lime peels, that means 9.05 grams of citric and 4.52 grams of malic acids. If you don't have malic, up the amount of citric, but it will lack a bit of the drying effect on the tongue that comes from the malic acid. Seal in airtight container, shake well to cover all the peels with the acids, and move on to the lemon. For lemon, I'm using just the citric acid. Again, equal weight of the peels. For my lemon, that means 15.58 grams. When doing all of this, I'd highly suggest using organic citrus. The acids pull out the oils from the peels and will also blend the peels, so you really don't want any chemicals in there. One of the best parts about super juice is that because of the high yield, you can go for the best organic fruit at a farmer's market, and it's still cheaper than buying in bulk from the supermarket. Orange will be a bit different. We'll make it acid adjusted, meaning we'll add more acids than what's typical in an orange. This will bring it closer to the taste of lime and lemon, so you can actually use orange juice in more cocktails. I'm again adding equal amounts of acids to the weight of the peels, but in a 9:1 ratio of citric and malic acids. For the 21.90 grams of orange peels, that means 19.71 grams of citric and 2.19 grams of malic acids. Using a formula based on the weight of the peels gives you a better chance of getting a consistent result every time. The only variable is the amount of lime juice we add to the Oleo citrate. Oleo citrate is the acid version of the Oleo saccharum, where acids pull the oils from the pills instead of the sugar. That happens in about 1 to 2 hours. After the acids have mostly dissolved, it's time to add the water, juice and blend. Use the water to rinse out the container with acids. Again, I calculate the amount of water by weight, which also makes it easier to use just one fruit instead of making a big batch if you don't need it. Multiply the amount of the pills you had by 16.66 and add that weight of water. That will give you a 6% total amount of the acid in the final result. This ratio is the same for all 3 citrus varieties we are making today. Adding the fresh citrus juice is what turns this hydrated Oleo citrate into super juice. Succinic acid in the fresh juice means it will have a slightly shorter shelf life. But the amount is so small, your super juice will still taste great after a few days, which is huge. Use a blender or a stick blender to break down the pills completely before filtering. Once it's strained, give the cloth a good squeeze. For bigger batches, I'd use a potato ricer. If you make these batches in a bar, it's a good idea to label these bottles with dates and variety. For a home cocktail party, you're good to go. And it's safe to say, you won't be using a single lime for just one cocktail, right? When I tried this for the first time, I was blown away by the amount and the taste I could get from a single piece of fruit. But the main use for it is in the cocktail. So it's time for another quick taste test. Let's quickly make the Super Daiquiri. Mix it up in no time almost, slowing down only to show the super juice B-roll. Then shake, strain and enjoy. You can smell the freshness of the cocktail, and the lime flavor erupts from the glass. It doesn't overpower the drink with sourness, but the bold flavors can match up with the rum, which somehow works even better than fresh juice. I honestly think this is the future of bartending. If you want to be more conscious of the waste our hobby, passion or profession creates, while some purists might think of this as cheating or making something that's fake, I think this technique, especially for limes and lemons, turns the fruit into the best product it can be for your cocktail. I, for one, am here for that. You'll be seeing this more on the channel going forward, and in the cocktail bar I work at. What about you? Will you give this a try, or do you think it's too much work? Or have you already tried it? Let the people know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week with something old and something new. Cheers!